The Public Works Department, led by Matt Montaigne and Graham Price, worked with hard-working, and I mean hard-working, and dedicated staff members and contractors to repair years of decay and then damage that was caused by Hurricane Florence. Intruding water had damaged the walls and molding, and a project which we thought would take a month ended up taking 3 months. What you see tonight is the result of those efforts. City Hall is an unmistakable landmark in the city of New Bern. Located at the corner of Craven and Pollock Street since 1895, residents and visitors often stop to admire the intricate and beautiful architectural details of this building. At nighttime, you can't miss the brightly lit clock face, which serves as a beacon along the New Bern cityscape. Long admired as a symbol of progress and possibility, this building holds unique history for New Bern. City Hall is an unmistakable landmark in the city of New Bern. Located at the corner of Craven and Pollock Street since 1895, residents and visitors often stop to admire the intricate and beautiful architectural details of this building. At nighttime, you can't miss the brightly lit clock face, which serves as a beacon along the New Bern cityscape. Long admired as a symbol of progress and possibility, this building holds unique history for New Bern. Described by architect expert Peter Sandback as a mixture of the Romanesque revival and high Victorian Gothic styles, it was built, minus the clock tower, as a federal building serving as a post office, custom house, and courthouse. The tower, an iconic four-face Seth Thomas clock you see in this picture, was finally added in 1911 after numerous complaints from citizens and led by a request from Congressman Charles Thomas of New Bern. From 1888 until 1935, City Hall was located on Craven Street, across from what is now Mitchell Hardware. The city purchased this building, the Custom House Courthouse, from the U.S. government when the U.S. government moved its offices to the newly built federal courthouse on Middle Street in 1935. Once the city moved in, they took down a pair of black iron bears from Old City Hall, a gift from Bern, Switzerland, and reinstalled them over the entryway. City Hall's interior, which mostly remains intact, shows a wealth of woodwork from 3 stories of hardwood banisters that we all struggled to get up tonight, and stairs to the trim and mantels in several old offices, including the mayor's office, which is now located on this floor. Many of the light fixtures you see in here and on this floor were installed in 1911 and are still in use today, as are many pieces of furniture that you see in the courtroom and the mayor and alderman's office. We tried to use all of these pieces in looking at them. What I'm going to do now is just really talk about the efforts of our staff and those people that worked really hard. I want to thank Graham Price again. He, and I'm going to scroll pretty quickly, he did a lot of picture taking to show what we were doing. As you can see, the pictures in the back of the building were originally on the side wall. They are flags that were gifted to us from Switzerland. You can see the rot in the wood that they found that had to be replaced. Every one of these light fixtures was taken apart, was polished, and was put back. This is a view looking down of what it looked like prior to the renovation. A table in the middle, the carpeting, and this was the start of the process. You can see as the benches were taken out, and we started to remove everything so we could work the plaster and we could work. This is an interesting picture. When I went up into the attic with the staff, we found rows of benches that were upstairs. So we wanted to add more rows down here, and so some of them were so badly damaged, what we were able to salvage was the 2 front benches in the front row. And we used parts from the other benches to rebuild these and put them back together. So we were really glad that we found them. I don't know how long we had been up in the attic. We have also brought the mayor's office upstairs, which is the first room when you get to the top of the stairs. And the room next to it has now been made into an alderman's suite. And I'm really happy and excited about that. It gives the alderman an opportunity to have a place to meet with citizens when they come in. I have 2 very important women that I'd like to call attention to. and one was Kathleen Warner, who was the first woman alderman to serve the city of New Bern in the 60s. And again, this was a time when women were supposed to stay home and raise children and not be in City Hall. And she was a trailblazer, and she was our very first woman alderman. So we pay tribute to her. Her portrait is there with her dates of service and her name. Next to her is our first black woman alderman, who was Barbara Lee. And she served for 20 plus years, faithfully to the city. And again, was a trailblazer. When others said it couldn't be done, she followed in the footsteps of Leander Morgan, who was the first black alderman, but she was the first black woman alderman. And she laid the groundwork, as did Kathleen Warner, for myself, Alderman Harris, and Alderman Best to be able to sit up here. We, as a city, honor two trailblazers who paved the way for others to follow that may not have had the opportunity had it not been for Leander Morgan Sr. and Ella Bengel. They both took the step to hold the office others said they could not or should not hold. Their desire to serve was heart-driven for a city and people they loved and who only wanted a better way for those who live and work here. On May 15, 2019, the North Carolina Supreme Court held a historic session here in this courtroom. In honor of Justice Michael Morgan, the portrait of his father that was given to the city was hung behind his seat as a fitting and meaningful tribute. At the May 28, 2019 Board of Aldermen meeting, it was unanimously voted that the portraits of both Mayor Morgan, the first African-American mayor, and the portrait of Mayor Ella Bengel would be hung in the courtroom celebrating these two firsts for the city of New Bern.